Jamie, we got to get into topic number 2. And this one comes the way of, well, it's actually been a lot of people that have talked about this. I talked about it a couple of weeks ago, but Jez Corden of Windows Central, one half of the Xbox 2 podcast, did something yesterday in very Jez-like form. He simply put out a very auspicious tweet, very simplistic in its nature. He simply asks, are you ready for Xbox's next Dev Direct? And of course, well, someone responded immediately, and it was Wes Nemo on Twitter. Asks, announcement soon, you think? And Jez replied very simply, yes. Now, I have heard, and I've talked about this as much as 2 weeks ago, that this Dev Direct, what I have heard is it is happening in the 3rd week of January. Again, I've already mentioned that before. Now we're hearing more confirmation from Jez Corden that the announcement is imminent. Is that happening? I mean, we're only in Tuesday, right? We're still a week and some change away from the 3rd week in. I would imagine that if that announcement is going to happen, it's going to be super late this week, maybe Thursday, maybe Friday, or like they've done before, maybe Monday morning, 9 a.m., boom, Xbox Wire article, detailing what games are going to be shown. Now, we have a thought, and I actually have a thought and a theory thanks to a posting from Tom Henderson regarding what Virtuous is working on. It is an Unreal Engine project. Well, we talked about that also. We'll get to that in the last part of the show. But look, Jamie, this is become a standard for Xbox. Now, last year was a bit a bit difficult because they had to, have this, business direct, something they've never done before, where they were answering questions regarding multi-platform releases. And a lot of people were in their feelings. Some people left Xbox altogether. Some people are never going to come back to Xbox no matter what they do. And that's fine. But the community has moved on from, the disappointment of multi-platform ideology. It's just going to happen. And I say this, and I'm not saying it to be, funny. Sony is going to do it at one point or another. They're much slower, and they do have a different ideology of, buy box, buy game on box, and maybe it starts out with a little bit more day and date for PC before it's, everywhere else. But it's going to happen at some point. Xbox has taken all the arrows because they did things first. They usually do. This has become a standard in January to open up the year. It's great Xbox news. It's great Xbox advertising. We're only a couple of weeks away. I would say maybe 5 weeks away from Avowed. Avowed is going to be a monster-sized RPG. I cannot wait to sink my teeth into it because, again, for me, The Living Lands is something that I've never explored. I've never been a ARPG kind of a guy, so I've never played those games that are part of this universe. But I'm still excited to get into what's going to happen with Avowed. The question that I have for you is, what do you think is going to be there? First of all, usually it's 5 games. It's usually 4 games and a partnered game. But I think Xbox literally has so many bullets in the chamber that they actually don't need to do any partner stuff. They could literally just show all of their own games that are potentially coming this year. What are your thoughts on that, Jamie?
I mean, we've had a developer direct 2 years in a row. I mean, Microsoft, they have a very slow start to the year, and the first week getting back to work. So people are still getting into the offices and stuff because of the New Year's. I think they'll probably announce the developer direct next Tuesday. Xbox tends to announce news on a Tuesday anyway.
Yep.
For later in the month, and yeah, it makes sense. I think it's going to be an exciting one because, again, there's no business thing this time. Like you said, people were in the feelings and stuff. That was, that was rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's definitely going to be happening. I mean, pretty much everything that's going to be there is leaked anyway. And like you said, the whole partner preview thing, they tend to have one of those within a month afterwards. Microsoft, the exciting thing about Xbox right now is that they have so many games in development that they could literally do multiple shows over the next few months and not run out of stuff to talk about. Like hell, like I was talking about this last night. Clockwork Revolution that was announced with gameplay in 2023, and we've heard nothing about it since. It's still in active development, and they keep teasing it online. So, like, who knows what we're going to see? I think that's one of the exciting things about Xbox is that with all the games that they have in development, they could literally announce anything. And that's what, like, people have been arguing about Xbox doing the multi-platform thing for a long time, but like at the end of the day, we just play these games to enjoy them. We want to enjoy these games, and like I love the fact that Microsoft has so many different games in development that when they announce this developer direct, they could literally show us anything. Hell, they could even show us 5 games that they haven't even announced. And that's the best part. And that's Microsoft's strong suit at the minute. Their studios are doing so good at the minute. Like Indiana Jones, I'm about to finish it. Chef's kiss.
What an amazing experience. What a way to close out a real solid 2024. And you know what? Look, yes, Jamie, it should have been in the Game Awards. It should have won a bunch of awards. But the truth of the matter is that when people are doing their Game of the Year stuff, it's starting to come up in everybody's conversation. So yes, it didn't get the Keighley Game Awards that it should have, or the recognition it should have, without a doubt. But it's still getting the recognition from other publications that I would have never guessed would have picked an Xbox. But please continue.
Yeah, but like just the quality of games they have now, like you can see that the bar is like raised because Microsoft, that people always said they needed like higher quality games more consistently.
Yep.
And if you look at last year, the quality of their games were very high and they were consistent. Hellblade, is it a short game? Yes, but the quality is unlike anything else you've seen. Indiana Jones, like one of my favorite developers, Machine Games, made a first-person Indiana Jones game that isn't a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
Do you know how good that was for me to play? And I'm still playing at the minute. Like it's so good because like I love immersive sims, and Indiana Jones is an immersive sim. I love that game. And this game doesn't get enough credit. Flight Simulator 2024. I play this every day. Every day. In fact, I'm top 50 in the world, by the way.
Good for you, bro.
But like it's a fun game. It's technology that's really impressive, and it's stuff that we don't really see that often. And like I absolutely love that game. The quality is amazing. Granted, it's launch day. It's a server-based game, so it didn't have the best launch day, but the day afterwards and onwards, brilliant. And Age of Mythology Retold, absolutely solid RTS on console. Great game. So, like, Microsoft, they had a solid year. This year, they can literally show us anything. And like you said, we're going to be talking about a certain remake in a bit, but, like, it's going to be an excellent year. And I think, it's going to be an exciting year for games.
I mean, listen, there's no doubt whatsoever that this year is not only going to be a great year for Xbox and its gamers, it's going to be a great year for gamers across the board. Because if you think about it, and we've talked about this before, Sony has no games listed outside of Ghost of Yotai, which I'm super stoked for. I know a lot of people are in their feelings about the fact that it's a female protagonist. Listen, folks, grow up. It's a female, big deal. They exist. I'm super stoked to see how they're going to continue the story without Jin, because I was really hoping to get a follow-up to Jin's story, which that's a game I platinumed. And I don't have a lot of platinums. I absolutely adored every freaking second of Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Yotai is going to be a big release for them. There's just no doubt about it. They do have another Kojima joint locked up, which of course, is a timed exclusive. What's that timed exclusive for Death Stranding? The Beach. I don't know. Is it 6 months? Is it a year? Who knows? But we know that Kojima now has full ownership of the IP, so maybe things have changed. They don't have much past that. I mean, normally we get some information on what games that they have locked up through, their deals. We don't even know that, so they don't have a lot. But what they do have is a bunch of Xbox first-party games and Xbox first-party studios making games for the PlayStation 5. Doom Eternal. We got a chance to see a little bit of that. Did you see those graphics? Oh my God, that looked like mind melting. Indiana Jones is going to be there. People are on PlayStation going to enjoy it. Hopefully it sells really well there, and I think it's going to. I really think word of mouth is going to propel that game to be a big seller on PlayStation. Maybe that even gets announced on a Switch too. Who knows? You also have Call of Duty, whichever that's going to be, which is rumored to be a sequel to Black Ops 2. That, of course, is going to sell like hotcakes on Sony. So most of Sony's big games are coming from Xbox. So again, I mean, like I'm not talking slander on it. It's just a fact. So Xbox as a company is going to have a big year, but Xbox gamers are going to have even a bigger year than anyone. And I really think that Game Pass is leading the charge. We have so many games, and you got to remember, listen, some of these, of course, are hypotheticals. There's no doubt about it. Do I really believe that there's going to be a Gears E-Day release next year? No. Why? Well, it would be great if it was released, this year, but it's probably going to be released next year because it coincides with the 20th anniversary. So it makes perfect sense. But we already know that The Outer Worlds 2 is happening. We already have confirmation that Fable is happening. Doom: The Dark Ages, whatever the Call of Duty is going to be called in 2025. South of Midnight continues to impress. Avowed is the first salvo for Xbox gamers and Xbox Game Pass next month. And there's still, listen, folks, I know I'm holding hope here, but there's still a chance that Clockwork Revolution could be a part of this direct. I think it's time to show that game, and who knows? You know, they've been keeping their heads down and working, and they haven't said much, but they have mentioned it on the socials. Clockwork Revolution could be a game that is one of those surprises that Matt Booty talked about. He says, we've got to remember, it's been announced, but they haven't talked about it. Maybe that's one of the ones that make it into 2025. Look, I could just say this. Even if they don't get Gears E-Day and Clockwork Revolution, and they have the other 8 games that I had a thumbnail done for, that's a ridiculous year. And all of those games are day one in Game Pass. Like, how do you even argue that that's not incredible as a consumer? You literally can't. But look, I don't want to beat this horse anymore, because we've talked about it as much as I think as we could regarding, next gen hardware and what Xbox is going to be doing. We do have one more topic to get into, and I do want to talk about that because it's a big one. I really think that, again, it's one of my favorite RPGs of all time. Oblivion is and has been rumored to be done or being remade in Unreal Engine 5, meaning it's going to potentially be on the level of a remake that you look at one of the Resident Evils, like Resident 3, Resident 2. Those were monster remakes. Final Fantasy 7 remake, that was a fantastic game and an amazing remake. If you get an Oblivion of that quality, oh man, it's going to be great. And we're going to talk about that in a second.